How are you? How has this new lockdown taught
Yeah,
you, let's
right.
say?
I came back to Bath on Monday thinking I was going to have um, a few weeks of training in before I could travel. And then obviously on Monday night we got locked down. So
Oh,
kind of
wow.
in Bath at the moment, revising for my exams, not doing much.
Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't realize you were there right now. I thought you'd be at home and
yeah, no, I came back because I was going to do like a week of training with my coach and
Mhm.
other guys at the uni. But obviously not doing that at the moment.
You were saying that you were getting ready to go somewhere for tournaments.
Yeah, I was looking at traveling. So I've got exams the next 2 weeks, and then after that, I've got a couple of weeks off. So I was looking to travel to, I don't know where I would have gone, but I was looking to travel to play a couple of futures for a couple of weeks. But yeah, I don't know, but I don't think that's going to happen now, to be honest.
So what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna come back? Are you gonna stay there?
Well, I'll probably stay here for my exams, um, do a bit of fitness.
Mhm.
I don't know, to be honest. No idea what my plans are. It's all a bit up in the air at the moment, but
Yeah, just going with the flow, I'm guessing.
yeah, yeah. I can't really plan ahead at the moment because stuff. I was like planned ahead to come here and do a training block for like a few weeks, and then get told the night before that it's locked down for 5 weeks. So kind of
How
just
how is that affecting your exams then?
they're all online, open book, and you get 24 hours to do them.
Okay.
So it's the same as in the summer, but they'll be a bit harder than like if I was doing them in person because obviously I've got notes and stuff in front of me when I'm doing them as well.
Mhm. And
Um,
what's the setup like there for you? Do you live on campus or do you live outside campus? How?
so, so I'm in my fourth year now, so I'm doing a master's. So I just live in town with with a few of my friends who I live with in first year,
Mhm.
and then a couple of girls that I didn't meet until this year. But we're like a 5-10 minute drive from the uni. Um, yeah, basically pretty near the centre of Bath town centre, to be honest.
Let's talk a little bit about you getting into tennis actually. What do you remember? What's your first memory of playing tennis or being near a tennis court, let's say?
So my mum and dad both played to a pretty high level when they were younger, and tennis has always kind of been a part of my life. I've always lived really close to Cumberland Lawn Tennis Club, so like Rohan last week, my first memories were, I think, being fed balls by my mum, my dad, and some of the old coaches at Cumberland, like on like some of the hard courts down the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then also getting coached by Peter Neathie, who I think's the Middlesex men's
Yeah.
captain now,
Mm-hmm.
like Southampton Tennis Club and Elmwood, just on like freezing cold winter's evenings on out carpet in the rain. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've played tennis all my life because my mum and dad, uh, so it's just always
Mm-hmm.
been part of it.
Were there any other sports you were doing or you were interested in?
I mean, I played other sports at school, like played football quite a bit and cricket. But I could never really play. Well, once the matches started, like going to the weekends, I could never play. I was traveling and playing tennis tournaments, so I kind of stopped playing football and cricket when that happened.
And when did tennis get serious for you? When did you or your parents realize that, okay, this will be your thing, let's say?
Um, I don't know really. I mean, so my mum and dad obviously both played to quite a high level. And then my coach Peter has coached a load of good players. He's coached like Harriet Dart, Anki Bong, Alex Bogdanovic. Um, and I always played tennis. I can only remember since I was 6 or 7 only playing tennis, um, pretty much every day. And I was always like, since under 12s, under 14s, I've always been like in and around national level. Played nationals every year since 12s. Um, and I don't know, I've always loved it, and I've never. I don't know, to be honest. There wasn't really a point where I thought, oh, I could pursue this professionally. It was kind of like it built up, and I kind of got older, got a bit better, and yeah, now here we are, and hoping to give the Pro Tour a bit of a crack at some point when Corona allows.
When was the first futures you've played? How old were you?
Oh, the first futures I think was my mum took me up to Manchester when I was maybe 17 or 16, maybe even younger, 16 or 15. And I just signed in for qualies and got in. And I played someone really good. I can't remember who it was, a British guy with points, and got absolutely chopped and then drove home the same day.
How was that? How was the drive home?
It was all right. I thought I played quite well. I mean, I think I got 2 games, but I was pretty pleased with that. Yeah, I mean, that was the first one I played. And I don't think I played another one for a while after that.
How was how did your parents react or your mom react after that match, let's say on the way home? Because that's a conversation that kids usually dread after playing a match and maybe not winning it.
Yeah, I mean, well, luckily my mum and dad played, and so they understand tennis really well. They've always been really supportive. They've never put any pressure on me. Like when I lose, I normally get upset because I put pressure on myself to win or whatever. They never them. So I mean the match that I played when I was 15 or 16 on the way home, my mum was just like, "Oh, maybe you're just not ready to play this level of tournament yet." So then I just played a few more under 16s, under 18s events, and then started playing futures a bit more regularly, competitively. When I was maybe 17, 18, I started to play a few more again, I guess.
And when did the decision of studying, choosing the UK to study and play tennis, when did that happen?
So I've always been pretty academic. So my school, I went to UCS in Hampstead with Rohan and Max Benheim.
Oh, so you go way.
Yeah. Rohan and Max for ages. So that was a pretty academic school. And I've always been pretty academic myself. And it wasn't, and my mum and dad, kind of having been through it, and people at my school, kind of made me realize I didn't want to give up my education, like really early to play pro tennis. So I wanted to get a degree so that if tennis doesn't work out, I always have the degree to fall back on.
Good thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the decision-making process. Yeah, sorry, did you ask about why I chose the UK as well?
That was going to be my next question. Why the UK and not the States?
So for me, I guess there are a few reasons why I chose the UK over the States. I think it's very personal choice depending on what you want out of college. But for me personally, being quite academic, my school kind of pushed me towards the UK unis more than the US unis, which is probably a bit of a snobbish way to look at it. But I was getting pushed towards, so I interviewed at Cambridge, which my school was like, well, that was all they cared about, was getting into Oxbridge and stuff like that. And they were even a bit snobby about me wanting to go to Bath, to be honest. But that was just my school.
In what way, Abby?
I don't know. They just thought it was like, well, my school was, all they cared about really was getting kids like into Oxbridge and stuff. And that was like,
it was good for them then.
What they could put on their brochure and stuff. But yeah, so basically I decided I wanted to study chemistry. That was the degree I wanted to do. And in terms of the academic side of it, I mean, there's obviously some great universities in the States you can go to, like Cornell, Harvard, whatever, some great unis. The thing that put me off was the fact that in the first 2 years in the States, you have to do like the general studies and do your requirement classes. So if I went to the States wanting to major in chemistry, the first 2 or 3 years of my degree, I'd have to do like a language requirement or a social sciences requirement or something like that. Whereas at British unis, since when I walked in the door at Bath, I just did chemistry, and then like a bit more chemistry. But that was what I wanted to do. I mean, so I thought it was better for me to do that, really. yeah, I mean, I did look at a couple of US unis, but another reason why I chose Bath was I think I've spoken to a lot of guys who've gone to the States, and obviously a lot of guys get better, but I know quite a lot of stories of people who've gone there and like fallen out with their coaches, or found out that their coaches have like said one thing when they're talking to their player, and then it turns out that this like wasn't the case when they actually got to uni and stuff like that.
Do you have a few examples? I mean, not names, but just type of situation, let's say.
Yeah, so I guess like I know one guy who I can't remember, but he was talking to a coach for a US uni, and the coach was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna come, you're gonna play number 1 on the team, let's say number 2 on the team in your first year." And then he's like, "Oh wow, that's great. This is a great uni. I'm gonna go." And then the guy gets there and turns out he's like number 6 or like struggling to get in the team, that sort of thing. So it's like almost as if the coach had like sold him a dream almost before he got there to
so
try and sign.
Let's say you're a number 6, does that mean you play less often, or what happens?
In the States, it doesn't mean you play less often. It just means it's just where in the order you play. So if you're at number 1 at a really good uni, you'll play the number 1s at all the other unis.
Yeah.
You'll be getting really good matches. Whereas at 6, you'll just play the other unis number 6. So it'll be a bit worse, but it'll still be very good. But it's more the fact that his coach told him that he was going to be like number 1 or 2 or whatever, and then turned up and he was 6. And yeah, I just heard a few stories of like guys going out there and thinking their coach was really good, but then falling out with him. So I think there was a bit of a luck element. Rohan said about this last week. There's a bit of a luck with the US, with the coaching side of things. So I wasn't sure whether when I was talking to these coaches, whether like they were really wanting me to go and they were really good coaches, or whether they were just saying it to get me to sign, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, I guess it's also because I've grown up in the UK and I know most of the coaches here through like nationals and players that I've played. So before I went to Bath, I knew like all the coaches there. I knew they were all really good. So you got like Dave Samuel, who's worked with like Liam Brody. Dan Smethurst was there when I started, who's working with Joe Conter now, and he was like top 200 in the world when I went. Rob Morgan's working with Joe Salisbury, and then my coach Mac has produced loads of good players. So I already knew that the setup was really good, like before I went, whereas I didn't feel like I would have known that before going to the States. It would have been a bit of a gamble, if you know what I mean.
And how big is the team at Bath now?
So in Bucks matches, in the first team there's 4 players. It's like just like an Aegon match. So there's 4 singles and 2 doubles. But you've got the first team, and at Bath we've got 3 men's teams.
Okay.
So there's like so there's like 15 guys on the uni squad basically. But yeah, all the first teams. So Bath are in the top division in the UK. So we play all the other top teams like Durham, Stirling, Nottingham. We play all their first teams in Bucks matches. It's pretty similar to the States, but we just don't play as many matches, and there's only 4 really. What
made you choose Bath and not another university?
So Bath is. So if I wanted to go to the UK for tennis, you're looking at, I guess, like 6 unis really that are really good. So you got Bath, Nottingham, Durham, Loughborough, Stirling, and Leeds. And Bath, Durham, and Nottingham are the most academic, probably out of 6. And Bath just happened to be the best on chemistry and natural sciences when I applied. And I also like the fact that Bath is the only uni in the UK. So you've obviously got, I can train with all the uni guys, but there's also like pro tennis, an academy set up as well with like just touring players. So like Luke Johnson, Sam Murray, Lissy Barnett, Liam, if he comes in, stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool that I'd be able to tap into the and hit with these guys who are like whatever 500 plus in the world, as well as also being able to hit with the uni guys. So that's why I chose Bath. That's a really nice part of the country. Yeah, I don't know.
How is the setup? As in, how often do you go to classes? Let's say if you would be able to go to a class now, how often would you do that? How many hours a day? How many hours a day do you practice?
So at Bath, there's 3 days a week. There's uni training, like 8 till 10 in the morning, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. And then Wednesdays is match day. So you just play your matches on Wednesday, and then normally you have a day off on Thursday. But I'll also normally tap into like some of the pro sessions, which are normally like maybe 2 till 4 in the afternoon on a Monday, or like 9 to 11 on certain days, stuff like that. And then depending on what degree you're doing, so chemistry. Well, I'm currently doing a master's in management, so I've got less contact hours now. But when I was doing chemistry, I had like 28 contact hours a week.
Okay.
So I'd basically do the uni training 8 till 10. And then I'd probably have a few lectures in the day, maybe at like 10, 12 and 1, or something like that. And then I'd always try and sneak like another session in the afternoon. So it's almost like in the UK, you get set a timetable of your lectures and labs and whatever. And that's fixed. You can't really change that. So you just have to make your tennis schedule work around that. And the coaches at Bath are really helpful with that. So I've never had a problem of accessing tennis. Whereas I know in the States, it's actually the other way around. You get your tennis training times first, okay, and then choose class slots to fit around that.
And how does the, let's say, pro session work? Do you opt for it? Do you ask if there are enough spaces for you to join, or how does that go?
Yeah, so when I first came to Bath, I was like a good national level player. I didn't have any points or anything. So I was training with the uni guys to start with because the coaches didn't really know who I was. But I was always really keen texting the coaches saying, "Oh, look, if you've got any space, like on the pro session, I'm around, whatever." And they let me on a couple of times, and I don't know, I must have hit all right. And yeah, each year I kind of accessed the like academy sessions more and more, to the point now where I basically mainly do the academy sessions with whoever's in, like Luke Johnson or guys who are in. But yeah, it was a hustle to start with because they obviously didn't know who I was really.
You had to prove yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I had to earn my stripes.
Do you have the best service, Bath?
I've just seen that comment.
Yeah,
I don't think that's without question.
I think I've seen one of your interviews, and you were saying that that's your favorite shot.
Yeah, my serve is my favorite shot for sure.
How fast is your serve?
Oh my god! I think what I got it measured. I played on one of those like play site courts, and one I hit was like 135. I don't know how accurate that was, to be honest.
Why are the guys going on about your ball toss? What's wrong with
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think I'd be able to see the comments, but I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just had a couple of issues with my ball toss, but they're all sorted now.
Okay.
So they're just trying to wind me up. All good.
How different is hitting in the pro session and hitting in the uni session, let's say? What's different between the two?
So obviously, like the level of the guys in the academy squad is like a bit better. I mean, it's not like drastically much better, but more like the guys in the academy are there, like that's their job, so they're like really on it and really intense. And the coaching kind of reflects that. The coaching's like really on it, really sharp, that sort of thing. Whereas in the uni squads, the hitting's still really good, but obviously everyone's studying a degree and like they might have an exam or a deadline coming up, so they're stressed or not having hit that much. So
is it more social, maybe?
I wouldn't say it's more social. I say it's more relaxed, because you've got to accommodate. Say if you're, I don't know, if for example I've got like a lab in the evening, or in the like after the session at 9 or something, I'll tell the coach that I've got a lab and like I just wanted to hit a few balls for an hour. He'll be like, yeah, that's fine. We don't need to do any like intense work today, that sort of thing. But I wouldn't say it's not social.
Okay.
It's just a bit more flexible and a bit more relaxed.
And so when are you supposed to finish your masters?
So I think I have my final exams in May, and then I have a dissertation period until September. But the dissertation I can write whenever and wherever. So I'll hopefully be able to travel and write it at the same time, basically. So I should finish in May and then be able to travel.
Yeah, well, what is the plan after that? Let's say in the ideal case that we're actually going to be able to make plans.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so the plan would be to try and do a few trips before May if I can get them in. But then really focus and on like futures and pro tennis from May onwards. So I'd probably do after I finish my exams like a 2-week training block maybe, and then try to travel to a couple of tournaments in May, June, and yeah, just that would basically be my career from then on. I guess that's the plan anyway, and hopefully it goes well. So I can keep doing it for a couple of years.
And what would be the goal, let's say, for the next 3 years in terms of, I don't know, do you have a ranking in mind or?
Yeah, so I guess, well, the next goal for me, I don't really know what it would be like in 3 years, but the next goal for me will be to get my singles ranking into like the top 1,000 probably. So I think I'm like 1,400 at the moment. And then doubles, try and get into maybe the top 400, 300 if possible. My doubles like last summer went really well. I won a couple of tournaments. Yeah, I tried to push my doubles ranking up as much as possible, and then see if I can like sniff a wild card into Wimbledon or something. That'd be the ultimate goal, to be honest. But we'll see. We're a long way off that. But yeah, just to get the rankings up as much as possible will be the first goal.
What would you have to do to break the top 1,000, let's say? Where you are now, what do you have to add to your game? Or
to be honest, I think I just need to play a few more tournaments because, so obviously the only times I've been able to play are like in the summers of my degree. So at the moment, I don't know what I am, like 1,400 maybe or something like that. That's only I've only got points on from like 5 tournaments, 6 tournaments in the summer. So I'd hope if I played a full year of tournaments, I don't know, like maybe 20 tournaments or 25 tournaments or whatever, I'd be able to get more points, and that would hopefully naturally push me into the top 1,000. Yeah, that would be the plan anyway.
How is that transition, let's say, from playing national tournaments to futures? What would be the biggest difference?
There's a big step up from playing. So I was like playing national tournaments as a junior and playing Brit Tours, but the step up from that to futures is huge. It's not like people are hitting the ball much harder, but people in futures don't miss anywhere near as much. And like shots that you'll hit as a winner at under 18 nationals will just be like an average shot at futures level. And you just gotta, it's kind of like a mindset thing as well. People don't switch off in future. So like if you're a break point down, no, if you've got a break point at under 18s, the guy might double fault or something because he's nervous because he's got a break point. But futures, there's like very little chance that will happen, especially in the main draw and the later rounds of the main draw. Because at the end of the day, the guys playing futures are doing it to earn money, and that's their career, so they can't afford to switch off. Whereas under 18s, if you double fault, I mean, it's not. You go back to school the next day; it's not really a big deal, I guess. Yeah.
In terms, is the game a bit different?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit yeah, it's higher level. The ball's coming through a bit quicker. There's more spin on the ball. People coming forward more to that, making more returns, not missing as much, and they're not giving like cheap points away at big times. Whereas if you go to like I don't know, a national under-16s tournament or something, you'll see, not a lot, but you'll see on the odd break point or at the odd 30 all points, someone will just like miss a shot for no reason. And that'd be the main difference, I guess. That just doesn't happen in futures.
What do you think, let's say, at futures level and then higher, what would you say would be the most important shots, or what weapons would you have to have?
So I think I can speak for futures. I'm not sure about challenger level because obviously I haven't played at that level. But at futures, you just really need one big weapon, and you just need to own that, I guess. So like for me, it's my serve, and for me to start doing well at futures and progressing, I just need to own my serve. Like I need to just like cruise through service games, hitting aces and unreturnable stuff like that. But another guy's weapon at futures might be his forehand. And basically whenever he's in the point in the rally and he gets a short forehand, he's just got to absolutely crunch it and just scare the opponent to even hit it anywhere near the forehand, I guess. But I think once you get to challenger level, it's good to have a weapon, but you probably need either an exceptional weapon or maybe two or three. I don't know. But futures, yeah, like just one weapon and being able to own it and using it to your advantage is probably the key.
Did you, let's say, when you went to futures, did you see any difference between players that train in Spain and players that train in the UK? Is there any difference in how they,
yeah,
how they play, how they train, how they get ready?
Yeah, kind of. So like you can sort of like build up a stereotype of a player from each country, I guess. So like people from Spain obviously do a lot of training on clay. Tend to be, you'd think of them more as grinders. They don't really miss. They move really well. Don't miss return, make loads of returns. And then you got people from France tend to be like really loose on all their shots and relaxed. And like pretty talented. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting watching people from different countries because every country's got its own like tennis culture. And
how would the British players be? How would they?
I think a lot of the Brits actually have really good serves and come forward, British players seem to hit the ball harder than players from other countries. Have bigger serves and come to the net more. I don't know. That's what my experience is.
Do you think that has to do with the surface?
Yeah, because a lot of it's indoors or like on Astro. We have a lot of Astro in this country. So if you've got a big serve, then it's going to help you get better and win matches in the UK. So that's probably why, yeah.
Okay. Just, and going to the subject, let's say going to the subject of your health, which you've probably talked about over and over again, but I think it's important for people to know about it.
Yeah.
If you can like explain it a little bit and then maybe say how that has affected you, maybe playing futures and just practicing.
Yeah, sure. So during my final exams last summer in May, June time, I got really ill. I got really fatigued. I felt like I had no energy. I couldn't get out of bed, and a host of other symptoms. But I thought it was just stress to do with my exams, some stress maybe to do with lockdown, that sort of thing, and that it would go away. But my symptoms, I kept having my symptoms for like 2, 3, 4 weeks. So I called my GP and he said, we'll keep an eye on it for a couple more weeks and see what happens. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Maybe it's just a bug, a stomach infection, whatever. So I went back to Bath to train because I was playing a couple of the Brit Tours in June, July. I can't remember when they were. So I went back to Bath to train. I got back to Bath and tried to hit, and I could literally lasted 20 minutes on the court before I was just done, and I had to like stop playing the session. So that's when I knew something was definitely up. So I went to my GP in Bath and got my blood tests done. And they were really good, actually. They got my blood test results back really quickly. And they flagged it. My liver function tests and some other stuff were really high. But in the middle of all this, I was playing, I played a Brit Tour and I played Cam Norrie in the first round, feeling awful, which probably wasn't the best idea. So I was playing him. I think I played him a couple of days after I got my blood test results. I played him, and I remember in the first game, in the second game, we had a 20-shot rally at like 30 all or 15 all, and after that, I literally could not breathe and like had no energy for the rest of the match. It was horrible.
So you kept playing it?
Huh?
You kept playing?
I kept playing, but I mean, yeah, it wasn't really a match after that. Scoreline showed, I think. But yeah, I got my blood test results back from my GP in Bath, and he said he referred me to a couple of other doctors, and I had to have loads of tests like MRIs, ultrasounds, more blood tests, stuff like that, and a colonoscopy as well. Before I got diagnosed in August, I think it was, with colitis. Well, actually, it turns out I had glandular fever at the time, and I also got diagnosed with colitis and this liver disease called primary sclerosing cholangitis, or PSC.
So are there different things?
Yeah, so okay. they're kind of related, but the colitis is an inflammatory bowel disease, which is more common than you think. There's 300,000 people in the UK with colitis, and yeah, it's basically like, I don't really want to start describing the symptoms on live stream. It's not very pleasant, and it can lead to a whole range of, if it gets serious, it can lead to a whole range of other health issues. And then this liver disease, which is probably scarier than the colitis, is really rare, especially in people my age. It's basically a chronic liver disease where over time your bile ducts and your liver gets inflamed to the point where it basically stops working. It stops flushing toxins out of your body. And that can lead to like increased risk of like liver cancers. You might even need to get your liver replaced, stuff like that, within a few years. It's actually what Elena Baltasha had before she passed away. It's the same thing that she had, but hers progressed a lot quicker than mine.
Do they know why it happens?
So for both diseases, they know that they're autoimmune related, but they don't know what the trigger is. They know that there's some sort of environmental trigger. So maybe they don't know. I mean, maybe I ate something that triggered it, or touched something and put it in my mouth, but they don't know. There hasn't been enough research done on it at the moment.
Is it stress related in any way as well?
Is it what? Sorry?
Stress related in any way?
Well, stress, yeah, it might be, yeah. Stress, I found when dealing with my symptoms that stress definitely exacerbates both problems. How
is it competing with that?
Also, I've been pretty lucky in that. So from first showing symptoms in May to November, when I last saw one of my doctors for a procedure, I'm now symptomless. So I'm basically fine. I'm in remission.
What did you do for it?
Sorry?
What did you do for it?
Well, not a lot. I took I was on a couple of oral drug treatments. Still take a few different, one drug every day at the moment. But that's basically like, I basically just got really lucky. I was on like the lowest level of treatment, and there's a whole host of other levels that you can go up to. But they put me on this oral drug, which works in about, they say it works in about 10% of patients to get the symptoms under control. And I must have just been one of those 10%. Because I've been taking it since August, probably.
Okay.
And since then, I've been fine. And yeah, I actually spoke to my doctor today about a set of bloods I had in December. And there's like for them anymore.
And do you still have to take the treatment?
Yeah, sorry, my phone's nearly ran out of battery, I think. Sorry, I'm seeing my doctor again in a couple of months. They just need to keep an eye on my blood tests and stuff. But at the moment, yeah, I just keep taking the treatment because there's no reason not to. There's no side effects or anything.
Okay. So will you be stopping it if they say so, or will you have to keep doing it for like a long time from now on?
Potentially I could stop. I guess I might even be able to stop now, but no real gain to stopping. It's only like one pill this size that I take in the morning and the evening, so it's no skin off my back to take it. So I'll probably stay on it for the foreseeable future, I guess.
How has it been for you playing with it? You know, for as long as you had symptoms and yeah.
So when I had symptoms, it was basically impossible for me to play because of the fatigue associated with it. It was just like unplayable. But since coming back to Bath, coming back to uni in October, September, and my symptoms calmed down. At the start, I was really, really unfit, but I just had to build up my fitness from. I came back in September and I was hitting 15 minutes a day. That was it, and then done. And then each week I'd work up in 10 minutes. So I think it was 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. So I was going up 10 minutes per week of hitting, with the ultimate aim of just being like getting back to match fitness, which is where I actually ended before Christmas. I played my first couple of practice sets and practice matches before Christmas and was absolutely fine. So yeah, I think I am ready to compete again now, but it's just a bit gutting, the whole lockdown situation.
Time to work on the fitness for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we can do, really.
Yeah.
How has having this issue, let's say, changed, or has it changed your view on, I don't know, what tennis means for you, the way you train or you would like to train?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely put tennis into perspective for me. Because before I was ill, I thought, well, tennis was like what I wanted to do. That was like what I dedicated my life to doing. But then getting ill kind of put it into perspective for me that there's a lot more important things in life than playing tennis. Because when I got diagnosed, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to play tennis again to professional, like to any level, to be honest. So I just thought from that point on, any match I could play or any time I could hit without feeling fatigued was a bit of a bonus, really. So it's taken a lot of pressure off, really, because I know that I've been really lucky with the way that my disease has turned out, but it's definitely taken a lot of weight off my shoulders. I'm much more relaxed now because there's just bigger things in life than tennis, I guess.
What are those things, let's say, that you are a bit more important than?
I think that before that, I've never really ever been ill. So I kind of took my health for granted, which I do not do that now. And I just keep thinking that maybe my illness comes back in a couple of years. So every year, every match I play, every tournament I play is just a bonus for me, to be honest. And yeah, stuff like taking your health for granted, taking your fitness for granted. And the diseases are not very nice. People have lost family and stuff to these diseases. So taking that for granted as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's just made me more relaxed, put things into perspective that it's not, doesn't have to be tennis all the time. You can focus on other things. And the fact that I've been able to I probably ended up taking, with the lockdown, I don't know, it's probably 6 months of this year out, not being able to play properly. But to now be back where I am, hitting pretty good level, training before Christmas with some good guys, and being able to give them a good game. Yeah, it just puts it into perspective, I guess.
What would you tell your 15-year-old self now?
Ooh. I don't know. Probably that just to enjoy tennis a bit more and not be so obsessed with winning and losing. Because in the long run, as long as you're getting better, you'll start winning matches in the long run. Because when I was 15, I was whenever I lost a match, I was gutted all the time, and thought, this was the end of the world, rather than thinking, I lost, but this is what I could get better at, and then go out and work on it, and then come back the next week being better. But yeah, definitely be more relaxed, stop stressing as much, because it doesn't matter when you're 15. You've got so long ahead of you. And I think just to chill out. I was very intense. For sure would have done much better if I was a lot more relaxed and wasn't so uptight about results. But yeah, just to relax about results, and relax and just enjoy playing and enjoy improving, enjoy the journey of getting better, I guess.
So that's a good message.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up with a round of quick fire questions.
Sure.
So the first one would be what's your biggest fear?
The sea, the open sea.
Okay. Serving or receiving?
Serving.
Number one strength as a player?
Serve.
Pick a doubles partner.
Luke Johnson.
The most annoying thing people do?
Ooh.
The most?
I think taking really long between points.
Summer or Christmas?
Summer.
Song you have on repeat now, or playlist, or?
Heat Waves by Glass Animals.
Okay. Favorite film?
Ooh. Let's go with Wolf of Wall Street.
Nice. Favorite book?
Of Mice and Men.
Night in or night out?
Night in.
Phone call or text?
Text.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet, for sure.
Country you'd move to?
Australia.
Marmite or Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts.
Okay. Good. Oh, yeah, that's about it.
Oh, sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me.
Oh, no, it's all right. Don't worry.
And I think it was very helpful for a lot of people as well. Just your perspective on everything. Yeah, and nice to meet you, and hopefully you'll be able to get on the court soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Nice to meet you too.
A question. Like,
yeah.
You know, elite sports is still allowed.
What? Elite sports? Yeah, I know, but
how does that do anything? Does it help in any way for Bath or no?
Potentially, but not at the moment, I don't think.
I see.
Yeah, don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up.
Okay, well, good luck with your exams then, and hopefully this lockdown won't last for too long, and you'll be able to play.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll speak soon as well.
Thanks for having me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Bye.
See you later.